Today we are going to be washing some beautiful raw cormo from Herman Hill's farm. And you can see it's got little tips of dirt on it. But this was a coated fleece, and that means that the sheep wore a jacket of sorts while the fleece was growing, and that's why you don't see any little specks or flecks of vegetable matter in there. So this is very clean. It is only greasy, and I'm going to show you how to wash a small amount at a time. We are going to be using the best cleaner, Unicorn Power Scour. It is biodegradable, earth-friendly, works great even in water that isn't super hot, septic safe. It can be used on everything, and it's the most effective. And the lady Tina, who grew this fleece, only uses Power Scour, and it's the only soap that she's found that is able to clean her fleeces. So yeah, don't waste your time with other soaps. Just do Power Scour. So we're going to get this water as hot as we possibly can. My hot water heater is very effective, and so I want the water so hot that I can't touch it. Yeah, it's already like way too hot. So we're going to fill up our bowl. And I probably should have a pump of some sort on this, but I'm going to put like a teaspoon. That's even probably too much. Yeah, so we're going to let it swirl around. I can't even touch that. It's so hot. And then we're going to, let me get my favorite tool here. Potato masher. I think potato mashers were originally designed to wash wool. So we're just going to gently press this fiber into the bowl. Make sure the whole thing is submerged. I'm curious to see what happens. You can see one of the little tips right here, one of those little greasy tips. I wonder if we kind of pull that apart a little bit. Just kind of let and I will do the things that felt fiber and turn it into dreadlocks are extreme temperature changes. So if you're going from really hot water to really cold water, that will cause problems and agitation. But I have found in my experience that I can agitate the water just to kind of help it kind of go through the fiber without felting the fiber. So when I'm doing this, I'm just kind of barely agitating the water and making little ripples throughout the water to go through the fleece. And we will let that sit for probably 5 minutes. Most of the time, if you're washing larger batches of fleece, you will have it sit for like 15 or 20 minutes. But since we have not that much water in here, I don't want the temperature to cool down and to have all that grease kind of re-adhere to the fiber. So it's really important that we pour the water out before it gets to a temperature where it's comfortable for us to touch it. For this, you'll need a colander. You can see the water is very cloudy. You can't even see the bottom of the black potato masher in the bottom because there's so much oil and grease in this fiber. So let's pour this water out. And now I'm going to, whenever you're washing fiber, it is okay to go from cooler to hotter. So you always want to add water that's hotter than what is already on this. So I'm going to turn my spray nozzle up super hot, and we're going to rinse this just a bit, and then we're going to do another soak. Okay, so now let's get ready for, I think it's clean. There are still, you can see some tips in it. But they're so light that I think that that will actually kind of come out when spinning, or if you were to dye this, you won't be able to see that. Also, if you watched the how to set yarns tutorial I have, that process will also wash this. So rather than washing and washing and washing to the point where I don't have any tips at all and risking felting or even kind of drying out my fiber, I prefer to leave just a little bit of dirt in and wash that last little bit of dirt out when I set my yarns. So we're going to condition this now with a little bit of unicorn fiber rinse. We'll just plop a tiny bit in there and swirl it around and put our fiber in it for a good conditioning soak. One thing I've noticed as I've been working with fine wools is that when you wash them yourself, you can either end up with a really tacky, gummy fleece, or sometimes you can end up with a fleece that almost feels dry and damaged and unconditioned. And so the goal is to end up with a fleece that is neither tacky nor dry. And that does take some practice. But the keys to that are using super, super hot water and a super, super good soap. And I can tell this water is clear. See how you can see the fiber kind of poofs over, but you can see the potato masher all the way down to the bottom. So that is clean. There's no more clouds, no more gunk. And now I'm just going to put this on my deck in the sunshine to dry. It should be dry in the heat of the day in less, maybe like half an hour to an hour. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. And if you're in the market for washing your own fleece, I definitely recommend Unicorn Power Scour. They also have a fiber wash, and then this fiber rinse is great for conditioning and protecting all your fibers. Thank you so much for watching, and happy wool washing.